Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. Clouds, when there is absolute cloud cover like all day, doesn't it really just make you lose track of time sometimes? Okay, so on to our episode. What I'm going to do today is I have got this little lady right here. Let me just show you. So I've got this little ventricosum hybrid, which is a Nepenthes plant. It's a pitcher plant, okay? And I am going to show you how to put it into a hanging basket. Now, I've got some in the hothouse, and some species of Nepenthes are epiphytic, or they're found growing on the branches of trees in their native countries, and they just look really nice because their pitchers hang down or out of the pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make it a really nice decorative Nepenthes hanging basket with one Nepenthes. So let's go. So first and foremost, we've got our pot. So this is the hanging basket pot that I've got, and so you can see it's got a little tray. I have actually completely brushed out this pot from its former occupant, evicted the former occupant and brushed out the pot really nicely. You can wash it in hot bleach water and then just give it a good rinse in hot water. I'm not going to do that because I'm outdoors, and so where it's natural for them, or where they can grow in a very almost close to natural environment, not in a house or something like that, you don't have to be too concerned about that. But obviously in a very manicured environment, you'd want to get it absolutely clean. Okay, so this Nepenthes, you can see, has had, let's just focus there, it's had one side plant that's actually died off a while back, so but it's recovered very nicely now, and I just think now's the time to actually just stick it into its own pot. It doesn't really have roots coming out the bottom, so it's not really a major deal if I didn't repot it, but I feel that I just wanted to do this episode and show you how this looks, and then we'll take a look at some of the Nepenthes that are actually already growing in hanging baskets, and I can show you how nicely they develop inside these pots. So this is live sphagnum right there. So you'll see that there are two different kinds of sphagnum in there. There's South African sphagnum right there, and then on the other side there is the regular Canadian sphagnum, which we find in shops, like when we buy plants in South Africa. That's obviously come along a long way through the cultivation of carnivorous plants. Okay, so but what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to culture our own sphagnum with the Nepenthes, which I think is nice. So I do actually prefer these nice bigger heads. We've also got some sphagnum with bigger heads, but if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description to the episode on how to actually care for sphagnum moss and grow sphagnum moss. But for now, this is what we're focused on, so this is what we're going to be potting up today. Okay, so what you want to do is you need growing mediums. So now for this particular Nepenthes, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a mixture of orchid mix, perlite, mulled sphagnum peat, and silica sand. That's what I'm going to use. You'll see on the net that, and in different book sources and things, growing mediums can differ greatly for Nepenthes based on what kind of Nepenthes you're planning to grow. So make sure that you've got the right one and match it with the right growing medium. So this is a ventricosum hybrid. If I just show you, this is a ventricosum hybrid, and it's just a little baby. So yeah, okay, so I've got the medium already mixed up, and this is how to do that. So here we've got the growing medium, and you can see that it is made up of orchid mix, some perlite, some silica sand, and let's just see if I can get this clear, and some, oh, and there's cocoa chip in there too. But now remember, when you're working with cocoa chip, the cocoa chip has to always be buffered. If it isn't buffered, it will leach salts, and your plant will suffer. So make sure that if you are using any kind of cocoa product, that I would advise against it. But I've bought a batch ages ago which is actually buffered, and I know that it's buffered because I've grown a lot of my Nepenthes in this growing medium. So you want to make sure that you've got the right type of cocoa product for this purpose. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some, stick it in until I feel that I've got enough. There are some stones in there as well from the orchid mix, and then I'm just going to sort of position it like this. Okay, so I want it to be flush with the actual outside of the pot, so it's got to be at the same level as the pot. Okay, and then we're just going to backfill it. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of growing medium and pour it in there. Okay. Quite a bit of silica sand in here, and orchid mix. Okay, so this is basically, as I understand it, a highland species. So that means that this plant can tolerate low temperatures, and they generally operate between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius, but they can go lower. And they can also tolerate higher, because we do get temperatures up to 40 degrees sometimes, but then obviously you're really going to have to watch them. So I just want to make sure that I don't damage these pictures. I think I'm going to need some more orchid mix, because this is a little silica sand heavy. So give me a sec. Right, so I've added some more orchid mix to this. So there it is, it's done, it's still in its pot. So now I'm basically just going to lift the pot out. Hopefully it's not all going to just collapse into the hole, and then you're left with that hole. So now I'm going to take this little lady out of her pot and place her into this space here. And then what we're going to do is actually just go and get some more sphagnum moss, and I'll show you where I'm growing my sphagnum moss, and we'll get enough to actually cover this entire pot and make it look as though it's been there for quite a while, and give the sphagnum an opportunity to actually really overrun the pot, which will increase the humidity around the plant and actually just add to the aesthetic value of the plant. And then we'll put back the attachments for the hanging bit of the hanging basket. Okay, cool. So I need to do this off camera because I only have 2 hands. Right, so there it is. I've just taken it out of its pot, and now I just need to ensure that I can get it in here properly and just connect it with all the rest of the growing medium around. And that's it. And now I'm going to go and get some sphagnum. So let's go to the sphagnum. Here you can actually see I've got my trays of sphagnum moss growing all over the place. Some beautiful red kinds over there. And then the indigenous sphagnum. And then some more of the red versions over here. It's very nice. It's got quite a big head to it. So I'm basically just going to collect some of this. And what I want to do with this particular Nepenthes is I want to get some of the red color. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab some of that. Grab some out from the top. And the stuff will just regrow. So just going to, at random, grab as many of the big bits. And then some of these ones back here. I want quite a bit. So that I have enough to cover the pot. And then maybe let's grab some indigenous ones as well. Okay. Hopefully we should have enough now. So I think that should be, let's just take some more for good measure. So I think that should be enough. So let's go put this and position it onto the Nepenthes, or around it. Right, so now is the decorative piece, the part of the experience. And I'm just going to put them in an upright position, so pretty much the same way I found them. I'm just going to grab a few pieces. You can also just lay them flat like that, and it will actually just grow from there. Some really nice red bits, and just want to cover it up so that I don't see any of the bark anymore. The medium at least. It's not all bark. Let's get some of that right there. I'm just gonna put that there. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Let's get some more. And I want to get some underneath the pictures as well. So I'm just going to lift the picture up and place it on a bed of sphagnum. Some people say sphagnum, some people say sphagnum. I like to say sphagnum. And we can put some more in there. Let's get that little picture that's busy developing out. And put that piece over there. And then some more all along the outside. And this stuff will just grow, so you can see that it actually just grows on a strand. So I can literally lay that strand down, like so, and I'll show you what it will actually turn into. And so I'm just going to put it all over. Sometimes in my sphagnum beds, other mosses also make it their home, and I don't really like it when there are other mosses in there. I just want it to be sphagnum, so I'm just going to weed out those ones and just put it in there. Any more open spaces? There's an open space right there, and right there. So let's just make sure that I've got underneath each picture, I've got a little bit of sphagnum as well. Oh, there's one that needs some right in there. Okay, right. So that's it completed. Okay. So now basically all I'm going to do is soak, absolutely drench this. I'm going to soak it so bad it's going to love being drenched. Oh, there's a bit of sunlight coming out. That's lovely. Okay, so I'm going to get some rainwater and then we're going to soak this. Right, much better lighting, isn't it? The sky, guys, if you could see the sky, it is absolutely incredible right now. Okay, so I've got my watering can, my little trusty little watering device, and I'm just gonna do a gentle spray over the entire plant and the new medium. And now look, this is obviously the tray that's underneath that's capturing all the water. I want even the tray to overflow. I want this thing to be absolutely saturated. You can, by the way, cut off all the dead pitches and prepare it for this whole purpose. I didn't do that in this case, but you can, for example, take these out here. I'll probably do that once I'm done filming and just tidy it up. And really, essentially, what you want to just be careful of is just make sure that when you are removing dead pitches and things like that, that you're not cutting any living tissue. So ensure that it is actually dead by maybe just using your fingernail just to scrape and then see if it's alive. And if it is, you obviously leave it alone. If it isn't, then Bob's your uncle. You can cut away to your heart's content. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm just gonna find the holes. Where are the holes? There's one hole right there. Let me just see if I can do this with one hand. There's another hole right there. And the other hole should be there. Yes. Okay. So that's it. That's what it looks like. So now the plant will actually be able to grow, and you can see how full it is over there. Now remember, the growing medium is quite dry, and there's also sphagnum, mold sphagnum in there, so that has the ability to absorb 10 times its weight in water. So I want that water in there. I don't want it to spill, because I want to leave it like this overnight, so that it can begin to draw in all of the water into this area, so that the sphagnum can begin to wick up the water, and that will actually help the sphagnum to grow, facilitate the Nepenthes growth, and just really end up looking something like this. So here's a cutting I did a while back. Let me just grab this off of here and let me just show you what this looks like. So this is Nepenthes gentile, and you can see how lovely the sphagnum moss is growing, and the pitches have actually really taken off all the way around. There's a new one right there, and this is probably only 1 season old. So I've got this, probably I made the cutting in November. It is now May the following year, and there you can see one of the dead pitches, and you can actually also see grasshopper sort of wings sticking out of that picture there. So this picture I'm going to lop off right now, and there's also a praying mantis egg against the pot right there. So this is very stunning. This is a very beautiful way for your Nepenthes plants to actually grow. So I keep them at a good, what the humidity right now is in here is about 85. And it generally never really drops below 60. So that's that. Let's just put this one back. So that one, that's where it lives. And then I've got an arrangement of different kinds of pitcher plants right here. Some of them doing great, others not so great, because I've really got to just get things sorted out, which is what winter is for. So yeah, guys, if you like that episode, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and if you'd like to see something specific to you and I know how to do that, shout and I'll see what I can do. Other than that, have a good day and I'll catch you on the flip side.